Yo, I am back. Wanted to do a quick heavyweight video. Shout out to D Style. I was on with him. We were talking about the heavyweight division and the Fury fight and whatnot, but also PTHSS former 123 commented on my channel. He wanted me to do a video about the four-headed monster or three-headed monster at heavyweight. And before I do that, I want to give a quick shout out as well to Mr. Boxing Today. I think the channel is Mr. Boxing Today too. And very few channels out there now as far as the YTBC goes where you can go and get educated about stuff. And when I want to get educated about the heavyweight division, that is the first place I go to. Just a great archive and encyclopedia, I would call it, of what the heavyweight division is, what it was. So I'm sure all of you are familiar with the channel already if you're here, but if not, go there. Go there. That's one of the channels I would say go there. D-Style Boxing, another one of them. There are a lot of channels you can go to for quick hit content and I call TMZ type stuff to where it's just trying to stir up controversy and get quick hits. But if you want to get educated on stuff, that's one of the channels I would go to learn about heavyweight division, and shout out to him. Doing great work as always. But I would say right now, as I titled the video, there's a two-headed monster. And I've felt that way for a couple of years now since Klitschko made his exit from the division and was forced out, to be honest, by Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua. But I was never as high on Anthony Joshua as a lot of other people were. And I always felt that the only guy who could beat Fury is Wilder. The only guy who could beat Wilder is Fury, to be quite honest. And still feel that way. Now, there are some wild cards out there. And people are sleeping on this Ortiz fight. But Ortiz brought Deontay Wilder to hell. I mean, he brought him to hell in that fight. And I would not sleep on that rematch. Because that's one of those fights that is just weird. It's just odd because stylistically, I had to flip the camera there. Stylistically speaking, Ortiz could form some problems for Wilder once again. Now, I think that Wilder's going to win the fight easier than he did in the first fight, which was a tough fight for him. But that is one of those that, Ruiz sort of ended up being a bad matchup for Joshua. This could be another bad matchup for Wilder. But I just tend to think that there's a two-headed monster. There's a clear 1 and 2. I've always said when Fury is right, Fury's the guy. When Fury is right, when he's in shape, and this past weekend he showed, that's the main thing that I was looking at in this fight, because the guy he fought just wasn't good. It was a stay busy fight designed that way. So I was looking to see if Fury was in shape, if he was correct, if he was in the right shape, because I tend to think with a lot of people who have depression issues, who have mental health issues, a lot of times you can tell how they are inside by how they look on the outside. I mean, really, if you think about it, and when Fury is right in the head, he's in shape. And to me, Fury looks right now. And if I was Fury, if I was his handlers, I would keep him active. I would fight once again in the fall before I fight Wilder early next year, and stay busy, stay in shape. As long as Fury's right, he is the guy. But Wilder is that second monster. He's right there. He was right there in that fight. Still to this day, I don't know how Fury got up from that knockdown in the 12th round. So Wilder, although Fury is a better technical boxer, a better athlete in my opinion, Wilder has that eraser. And I think those are the clear 1 and 2 guys, the double-headed monster at the heavyweight division. And I would say right now, Ruiz, a distant third, and Joshua Ortiz, a clear 4 and 5 right now. That's how I look at it. So I think there's a two-headed monster. I don't think there's a 3 or 4-headed monster. We'll see how Joshua climbs his way back, claws his way back, and if he'll be right. But it's interesting to look at it too. Is right now I think Fury's number 1, and I would say Wilder's a clear number 2. But if you do if you look at it as to where are these guys going to be, what's the landscape going to look 4 years from now? Just say that. What's the landscape going to look like in 2023? Although I would say Fury is number 1 right now, I have more confidence in Wilder that he'll be the guy in 2023 over Fury. Being that we don't know where Fury's head's going to be next year. We don't know where Fury's head's going to be in 2 years. We don't know if he's going to be in the middle of another 16-month coke bender in 2 years from now. So when we look out 4 years, it's just too far to look out for a guy who has had issues staying consistent. So although I think he's the most talented, the most well-rounded heavyweight fighter, when I look at consistency, when I look at a guy who wants it, who wants to fight everybody, who has that heavyweight champion mentality that I want the crown and I want to defend it against every single guy who wants to take it from me. I look at Deontay Wilder when I'm looking for a guy like that. And I'm just confident that in the long term, in the long game, we talk about the short game and the long game. In the short game, Fury's the guy right now, and I think he beats Wilder in a close fight every time they fight each other. But when I look out 4 or 5 years from now, I think Wilder's going to be the guy. So it's an interesting take when you compare the short game versus the long game. But ultimately, I think this is a two-person top-heavy division right now, and past that, you have some wild cards like a Ruiz, like an Ortiz, who are unproven as far as number one and number two heavyweights, but they're right there. They're one punch away. Ortiz was very close. Let's see if he can do it in the next fight. But shout out to PTHSS Former 123. Shout out to Mr. Boxing Today too. Shout out to D-Style for giving me a forum to speak, a platform to speak the past 2 weeks. I'm going to be on with him every Wednesday. So be looking out for his channel and be looking out for more videos because I have some requests to talk about Pacquiao versus Thurman. I have a lot of thoughts on that. A lot of thoughts on what Triple G and where he is. Canelo, who should he fight next? So I have a lot of requests. So I'll be getting to those soon. So